All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're conducting a full-on autopsy of one of the most brilliant, dangerous, and frankly unforgettable villains in all of Victorian literature, Lydia Gwilt, the absolute centerpiece of Wilkie Collins' masterpiece Armadale. And our whole investigation, it really starts right here, with these words. This is what she's writing, in secret, in her private diary. She's a mystery, a predator, and maybe, just maybe, a victim of her own game. This one sentence tells you everything you need to know about her core conflict, a hardened criminal who finds herself wrestling with an emotion she thought she'd stamped out long ago. So, to really understand this woman, we're going to peel back every single layer of her life, just like a case file. We'll start with her mysterious first appearance, then dig into her criminal record, unpack her master plan, read her private confessions, witness the final showdown, and finally analyze her shocking last act. Okay, so let's picture this. We first meet Miss Gwilt when she shows up in the quiet little town of Thorpe Ambrose. And on the surface, she's the perfect Victorian governess. She's beautiful, she's quiet, she's incredibly talented, and she has this stunning, unforgettable flame red hair. But it's more than just being pretty. She has this immediate, almost hypnotic power over people. It's not just attraction, it's something else entirely. She can charm the most powerful people in town without even trying. But for someone like the pathetic Mr. Bashwood, a single look from her is enough to completely shatter his world. She has this way of deeply unsettling anyone who dares to look a little too closely. And this is where we see the two sides of her. There is this huge, terrifying gap between the person she pretends to be and the person she actually is. In public, she's the picture of perfection. But in her diary, that mask comes right off, and we see the world through her eyes, a world that is just full of fools to be used and enemies to be destroyed. And she describes it all with this wit that's as sharp and as deadly as a knife. So you have to ask yourself, right? Who is this woman really? Someone this good at lying, this filled with rage? She didn't just appear out of thin air. Her arrival is a calculated move. And to figure out her motive, we have to start digging into a past she has tried very, very hard to bury forever. And to answer that question, we have to open up her case file. We need to piece together the fragments of a life that was lived in the shadows, a life that slowly but surely forged this beautiful governess into a truly terrifying villain. It's not like she just woke up evil one day. No. This is a slow burn. It starts with some mysterious trouble at her school, then escalates to a massive, sensational murder trial. Now, she gets acquitted, but it doesn't matter. Society has already judged her. She's ruined, she's shunned, she's broke. So she makes a choice. If the world is going to treat her like a monster, fine. She'll become one. And that's when she joins forces with the criminal underworld. And this right here, this is the key. This assessment comes from a private detective hired to expose her, and he nails it. Her past hasn't broken her spirit, it's sharpened it. Every single betrayal, every hardship, it was all just another lesson in a masterclass on manipulation. She's learned to survive by preying on the weaknesses of everyone around her. So, with that whole criminal resume under her belt, she arrives at Thorpe Ambrose, and she is not there for a governess's paycheck, let me tell you. She is playing for the grand prize, the entire Armadale estate, worth £8,000 a year, an absolutely staggering fortune back then. And her plan to get it is truly diabolical. Her entire, insane plan hinges on this one bizarre secret, a fatal coincidence that only she has managed to uncover. You see, there isn't just one Alan Armadale. The rich, happy-go-lucky heir has a best friend, a dark, mysterious guy named Ozias Midwinter. But what no one knows is that Midwinter was born Alan Armadale and is living under a fake name to escape his family's dark past. The plan is just breathtakingly audacious. It's so cold, so precise. Step 1. Marry the poor Alan Armadale, Midwinter. Step 2. Murder the rich Alan Armadale. Step 3. Show up with her marriage certificate, which legally proves she is Mrs. Alan Armadale, and claim the entire fortune. It's a crime that's as much about paperwork and legal loopholes as it is about poison. And in her diary, she doesn't sugarcoat it for a second. She strips the whole thing down to its brutal reality. Murder isn't some moral dilemma for her. It's not a complication. For Lydia Gwilt, it is a simple, terrible, and absolutely necessary business transaction on her path to getting what she wants. But, to really get who she is, we have to go deeper than just the plot. We need to enter the most private, most unguarded place there is, her mind. And we can do that by reading the pages of her secret journal. Because this isn't just about the money. Oh no, for her, it's personal. Her hatred for the rich Alan Armadale runs deep. It's a vendetta that started years ago when his mother ruined her life. But it's also about right now. She cannot stand his cheerful, simple-minded nature, and she is absolutely furious that he hired someone to look into her past, which ruined her first, much simpler plan of just marrying him directly for the money. And here's another layer. This master criminal, this woman of iron will, is an addict. The unbelievable stress of living a double life, of constantly performing, it takes a huge toll. And so she relies on laudanum, which is basically opium dissolved in alcohol, to get through it. She calls it her sleeping drops. It was a common medicine back then. But for her, it's both a lifeline and a poison. I mean, this quote is just, wow. It's so chilling and so revealing. It shows you how utterly alone she is. At her most desperate moment, the only comfort she can find, the only love in her life, is in a bottle of poison. The only darling she has in the entire world is the drug that numbs her pain. But there's this one variable she didn't plan for, a person. Her relationship with Ozias Midwinter, the man she's just using as a pawn in her game, it gets complicated, dangerously complicated. His genuine kindness, his own dark past, it connects with her in a way she never, ever expected. And here, in her diary, the mask slips. The great performer asks herself this terrifying question. Is she actually falling in love? Is she Lydia Gwilt, the murderess, the manipulator, getting caught in a trap of her own making? This is the one thing that could bring her whole house of cards crashing down. So all of this, the plot, the hatred, this unexpected love, it all comes to a head. The whole thing is about to explode. And the stage for this final act is this incredibly creepy, sinister place, a private sanatorium on the edge of London, run by a disgraced, totally immoral doctor. The setting alone is a huge red flag. This is not a place you go to get well. Collins describes it as this dreary, isolated building in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by junk from a half-finished construction site. It's a total Gothic nightmare pretending to be a modern hospital. It's the perfect, isolated stage for a murder. And the doctor's system? It's just this chilling, pseudo-scientific excuse for murder. He claims he can stop insanity, and his system isn't therapy. It's a mechanized death chamber. He's built an airtight guest room that's designed to be silently flooded with poison gas. And the process itself is just so cold, so mechanical, and terrifying. It's murder as an engineering project. There's no fight, no noise. You just quietly pull a handle in the wall, a window silently opens, and deadly fumes fill the room, suffocating the victim in their sleep. So the trap is set. Alan Armadale is lured to the sanatorium and put to bed in the poisoned room. This is it. Lydia's moment of triumph is finally here. But in one last, shocking twist of fate, the trap she sets is sprung, but the victim is not who she intended. At the absolute last second, she realizes there's been a switch. Midwinter, who was suspicious of the whole setup, secretly took his friend's place in the deadly room. And just like that, Lydia is faced with an impossible choice. Go through with it, get the fortune, but murder the one man who has ever shown her real kindness, the man she might actually love. And her final letter to Midwinter tells us what she chooses. In this incredible reversal, she runs to the room, smashes the window, not to let the poison out, but to let more of it in, to make it work faster. And then she locks herself inside, breathes the fatal gas, and sacrifices her own life to make sure that he lives. And that's what we're left with, this haunting, unanswerable question. Was her suicide a true act of love, a final redemption for a wicked life? Or was it the ultimate performance of a woman who, having finally lost the game, chose to write her own dramatic exit rather than face humiliation and defeat? And that ambiguity, that's what makes Lydia Gwilt not just a villain for the ages, but a deeply human and unforgettable tragedy.